station, but we'd like for you to tune into on SuperTalk TV, which you can do on your computer or your mobile device. We are nearing Memorial Day weekend, which means the World Championship Old Time Piano Contest is coming to Oxford. Joining us back here on Good Things is Mr. Ian to tell us more. Hey, Ian.
Hey, good afternoon, Rebecca.
It's good to have you on again. I feel like this is becoming an annual tradition for us, gathering together to talk about it. How many years now has the World Championship Old Time Piano Contest been happening there in Oxford?
In Oxford since 2016, so this will be our 9th year. But it started back in 1975 in Illinois, so it's really the 51st year for the event.
Oh, that's exciting. Okay, so 9 years. So we've potentially had 8 of them here on Good Things. We haven't been around quite 9 years, and we definitely haven't been around as long as the actual contest. But for something to be going on that long, people enjoy it. So, Ian, for those that may have not have heard of what the World Championship is, I can kind of get what that is. But this old-time piano contest isn't like your standard piano concert. So what y'all got happening?
Well, it's a fun kind of music, audience participation. Performers come and they dress in period costumes from the days of Tin Pan Alley, vaudeville, and they play a combination of music, really. It's ragtime, traditional jazz, that's like jazz before bebop and some of the later forms, honky-tonk, boogie-woogie, blues, and novelty songs that existed pre-1939. So it's a fun kind of music. Like I say, there's audience participation. They play with a smile on their face. They play with costumes. And competitors this year are as young as age 10 and as old as age 83.
Oh, that's exciting. I would love to know who influenced a 10-year-old to get into music pre-1940. I think that's something special. Was there a reason why it stopped at like specifically the 1940s or 1940? Was that 50 years ago thought about in terms of just honoring the olden times?
Well, it actually used to be 10 years earlier. We expanded it to include some of the more popular composers like Jelly Roll Morton out of New Orleans that developed stride piano, which is another form of jazz. So it has to do with the stylistic trends, because at around 1940, things tended to branch out into other forms and become a little more modern as far as jazz goes. So the idea is to preserve the older forms.
And people are coming to it. We're not talking about just a few competitors. How many will be headed to Oxford for this championship?
This year we have 26. They're coming from all over the country, a number from California, New York, Texas, the Midwest, one entry from Paris, France, too. And, it's going to be a really fun and really create a lot of variety, I guess, as far as their backgrounds go, their ages, and their talent level.
So how does it work? How do they compete against each other? Is the 10-year-old competing against the 83-year-old or vice versa? Or is it more in like divisions in terms of, as you mentioned, sort of jazz or the different parts or different types of music?
Now, if I had a 10-year-old compete against an 83-year-old, I'd lose my AARP membership. So.
Hey, they could probably still hang. You never know.
No, the junior division features competitors 18 years of age or under, so they're competing in their own age group. Then we have a regular division, which is 18 and over. But then, at a certain point during this event, I realized that some of the older competitors were probably feeling a little left behind. As age plays with their motor skills. They wanted really a field that was more competitive for them. So I created a senior division for ages 60 and up. So they're competing against, relatively their own age group. So
who's judging this, Ian? I feel like this would be a fun thing to sit back and judge. And do they have, experience in this type of playing of the piano, or is it more from an enjoyment standpoint?
From the competitor's point of view?
Yes. I mean, who's judging the competitors? Excuse me. Who's the judges?
Well, we bring in professional judges. These are people that, mostly do music as a career, their main career. So this year we have Steinway artist Richard Dowling out of New York City. And Richard does a lot of classical concerts, but he also does a lot of ragtime jazz events as well, and recorded the complete works of Scott Joplin, and in popular demand for music festivals really worldwide. So he's coming to the event for the first time as a judge. Sue Keller from Cape Cod, she has her own festival there in the fall, and she's been involved with the contest, well, since back near its inception in the Chicago area. And then we're bringing back our latest three-time champion, Paul Orsi. Paul is from a town called Surprise, Arizona, and he is a former Coke Corner pianist for Disneyland. So it's his picture that I sent you earlier that's on the website. He's contagious. He loves what he does, and people love listening to him. So
y'all didn't let him come compete again, Ian? You said 3 times is enough, Paul. You got to come back and judge.
Well, that's our rule. We want to make it as level a playing field as possible and give other people a chance. So, so that's our rule for all divisions.
So where will this be in Oxford? I feel like if folks are out and about and enjoying the square or looking for some good or interesting entertainment coming up Memorial Day weekend, where will all this excitement to be taking place, Ian?
Well, all the contests themselves and the presentations by our guests are in Nutt Auditorium in the Department of Music on campus. Easy to find, right on University Avenue. And then we've partnered with a piano bar on the Oxford Square called the Old Henry. And it used to be a hotel many years ago, apparently a notorious hotel, called the Old Henry, and has undergone several reincarnations, but returned to its old name this past year. And they're excited to host all of the after-hours activities. So our guest artists and our competitors will be playing there on a nightly basis after the events at the music building are completed.
This is the 9th year you mentioned, Ian, that it's there in Oxford. What makes Mississippi and Oxford just the best place to continue to bring this world championship to Mississippi? Or what makes Oxford the best place to bring the world championship to is what I meant to say.
Well, as you know, Oxford is a pretty busy place year-round, and ironically, Memorial Day weekend, there's not much else happening. So this is advantageous for us. But, of course, it's steeped in the blues tradition, which is a part of this musical genre. And the people that come here are just infatuated with the town itself and the area in general, the people that they meet. They feel welcome, and that's why they keep coming back. And I'm not talking just competitors, but we have a group of people from around the country that come just as observers every year.
Well, you've got the state of Mississippi listening that should come and be observers if they've never seen it. You make it sound like it will be so much fun, Ian. Are there tickets we need to buy? Are there, a website we need to go to at least see the lineup if we want to come and pop in and listen to some tunes if we're in the area?
Yeah. Anybody can go to oldtimepianocontest.com, and there's a link there to the schedule page so they can see what's happening every day. There's an all-event ticket. There are day passes that are at a discount, or people can purchase tickets for individual events. They can do that all online, and if they have trouble, they can always call the number, and someone else will do it for them.
Are any of the 26 competitors Mississippians, Ian?
We do have one from Hattiesburg. He's a junior age competitor, but he's competing in a different contest called the New Rag Contest. So that's where they compose their own original compositions.
Oh, that's pretty cool. You may have to get me his name, Ian, especially if he rises to the top. I think this is cool. I love that it comes to Oxford every year and that you get to share it with us. So hoping you guys have a big turnout and, hope that everything goes well for you.
Thanks so much, Rebecca, for helping us spread the word.
All righty, there you go. Sounds like a good time there in Oxford. Always something unique and fun to do. That's why we say all the time, you need to get out. You need to visit what we've got going on here. Here's something new downtown. If you're going to still be in the area, maybe you're visiting Oxford for Memorial Day, not necessarily getting out from the college town you're going in.